Under the blazing African sky, Kenya reveals a vivid scene of confrontation between strength and strategy. Here, every step of the lion carries dominant authority. Each roar sends vibrations across the open savanna. The baboons do not submit to this strength. They move in coordinated groups, agile and alert, ready to defend themselves when cornered. Encounters between these two species are not only battles for survival, they also demonstrate the fragile balance within the ecosystem. Kenya is a land where no species holds dominance forever. Here, the strong can quickly lose their advantage against strategy and unity. The cracked ground, the dry riverbeds, and the parched plains set the stage for unforgiving trials. In this environment, every creature, predator or prey, shapes the continuous cycle of life and death. Kenya is not just a location. It is a system where nature enforces its unyielding rule. Those with resilience endure, and those who falter disappear. Wild Kenya, the intense confrontation between baboons and lions. In the harsh world of the Kenyan savanna, baboons stand out as highly adaptable primates. They do not possess the speed of antelopes or the muscular strength of lions. They compensate with intelligence, group coordination, and the ability to use every available food source in their environment. This combination allows baboons to survive and thrive across many arid regions of Africa. The greatest advantage of baboons lies in their flexible diet. As omnivores, they do not rely on a single food source. Grass, seeds, fruits, roots, insects, and even small animals are part of their daily intake. This dietary diversity gives them an advantage during times of scarcity, especially in the extreme dry season. However, this advantage has a limit. When energy demands increase, the troop must expand its foraging range and sometimes hunt. This exposes them to danger because hunting mammals is challenging and attracts larger predators. A clear example is when their target is a young impala. Impala are highly vigilant and agile. Newborn calves stand and run within minutes to escape predators. For baboons, attacking a calf is the most viable option, but it is never simple. If the mother is nearby, her aggressive defense can pose a serious threat. Noise from the attack can also draw lions, leopards, or hyenas. all ready to steal the kill. The second strength of baboons is their ability to organize as a group. A lone individual cannot bring down prey. When working together, they can spread out, surround, and pressure their target. Their complex social structure enables them to protect one another from predators and increase efficiency in finding food. However, living in large troops brings intense competition. Dominant males gain most of the benefits, while weaker individuals often lose access to food or mates. Across the wide grassland, the troop moves in silence. This scene highlights both the strength and the limitations of baboons. Their strength lies in persistence, coordination, and decisive action when required. Their limitation is their tendency to target vulnerable prey, which positions them as opportunistic feeders in the food chain. However, in an unforgiving ecosystem like Kenya, taking opportunities is essential for survival. The role of baboons in nature extends beyond hunting. By consuming fruits, they disperse seeds across wide areas, aiding in vegetation regeneration. When they hunt or scavenge, they help control the populations of certain species, maintaining ecological balance. For this reason, despite their reputation for aggression and nuisance, baboons are a critical link in the cycle of life on the savannah. Kenya is a place where every species reveals its strengths and weaknesses. Baboons, with their intelligence and adaptability, prove that survival is not only about physical power. In this constantly shifting world, flexibility and the ability to seize opportunities determine which species remain and which ones vanish. Baboons in the Kenyan savannah stand out not only for their diverse foraging abilities, but also for their complex social structure. This structure forms the foundation of their survival, where every individual maintains a defined position and role. The hierarchy in the troop does not develop randomly. It is shaped by strength, experience, and skill in social interactions. Dominant males usually hold the highest rank and control access to resources and mating opportunities. This dominance supports group stability because experienced males are often more capable in fighting and defending the troop from external threats. However, this position is never permanent. Younger, stronger males may challenge and overthrow the current leader. This constant competition keeps the hierarchy in motion, reflecting the ongoing struggle for access to resources. Another distinct feature is their clear reproductive signaling. Females display a visible swelling of red skin around the rump, which indicates their exact reproductive stage. This signaling supports successful mating and reduces wasted competition. However, dominant males are not always fully successful. Younger males often use strategic social bonds with females to gain mating opportunities unexpectedly. This dynamic highlights a weakness in the dominance system, where power depends not only on strength, but also on strategic adaptability. After a gestation period of about 6 months, a female usually gives birth to a single infant. Twin births are rare because raising more than one offspring at a time reduces survival rates. During the first weeks, the infant clings tightly to its mother's chest and depends entirely on her care. The strength of group living becomes clear during this stage. Several males and other members of the troop often help protect the infant from predators. This cooperation increases the survival rate of the young and reinforces the cohesion of the troop. However, baboons have a relatively slow reproductive rate. The interval between births usually ranges from 1.5 to 2 years, depending on environmental conditions. This slow pace becomes a disadvantage compared to species with faster reproduction. Leaving the population more vulnerable to harsh conditions, disease, and predation. During rare periods of safety, when the troop has secured enough food and predators are absent, the group appears calm. Infants nurse or rest in their mother's arms while the troop pauses after days of constant movement. But such moments of calm do not last long in the Kenyan ecosystem. Vultures patrol the skies, leopards wait silently in the undergrowth, and lions move across the grasslands. Any of these predators can quickly break the fragile sense of safety. Through their social system, baboons demonstrate both strength and vulnerability. Their strength lies in organization, cooperation, and adaptive survival strategies. Their vulnerability lies in slow reproduction, intense internal competition, and dependence on a shifting hierarchy. This balance of strengths and weaknesses allows baboons to persist in the harsh landscapes of Kenya, where only species with true adaptability can maintain their place in the ecosystem. Lions hold the highest position in the food chain of the Kenyan savanna. With muscular bodies and dense golden coats, they are apex predators capable of significantly shaping the balance of the ecosystem. Each movement of a lion not only serves its search for food, but also triggers behavioral changes in many other species sharing the same habitat. The most prominent strength of lions is their collective power. They live in prides, and coordinated group behavior creates high hunting success rates. Lionesses form the core hunting force. Their speed, patience, and coordination allow them to bring down large prey such as buffalo, zebra, and wildebeest. This level of cooperation, along with sharing food within the pride, supports group stability, especially during the harsh, dry season when resources are limited. However, lions also face clear limitations. They do not succeed in every hunt. Failure rates are high, especially when targeting agile prey or when environmental conditions are unfavorable. The high energy demands of a pride require consistent access to abundant prey. When prey becomes scarce, lions may face hunger and are sometimes forced to hunt species they rarely target, including baboons. Baboons often move in large troops and maintain strong vigilance. Even so, they remain vulnerable under the overwhelming strength of lions. When a lion approaches, the alertness of the baboons quickly turns into chaos. From being small predators themselves, they become potential prey. Lions often launch sudden attacks that end quickly. If a baboon is caught, it provides a valuable source of food that sustains the pride. Especially during the demanding period of raising cubs. The roar of a lion is one of the most powerful signals on the savanna. It announces the presence of a dominant predator and forces many species to adjust their behavior immediately. Zebra herds become tense. Antelope herds increase their vigilance. Baboons often retreat to higher or safer positions. The presence of lions, even without direct predation, reshapes the behavior and spatial patterns of the ecosystem. The major strength of lions lies in their role as regulators of herbivore populations. Without them, the numbers of antelope, zebra, and buffalo would rise rapidly, causing severe pressure on vegetation resources. However, as apex predators, lions are also tightly linked to the health of the entire ecosystem. When prey numbers decline, lions must expand their hunting range. Often leading to conflicts with other predators such as hyenas or leopards. In the Kenyan ecosystem, lions are both dominant hunters and dependent participants in the complex web of life. They are powerful but not invincible, feared but also bound by the availability of prey. Every successful hunt sustains the pride and reflects the intricate relationships among species. Within this cycle, baboons, intelligent yet vulnerable primates, often become clear examples of the relentless laws of survival on the unforgiving savanna. The life cycle of lions is a process shaped by the harsh environment and the strict ecological rules of the Kenyan savanna. The birth of a litter is not only the continuation of a generation, It is also a measure of the pride's ability to maintain its strength. After a pregnancy lasting more than 3 months, a lioness usually separates from the pride to find a hidden location. This isolation protects the cubs from predators and from adult males outside the pride. Giving birth to 2 to 4 cubs is common. However, their survival rate depends heavily on the early stages of life. This stage represents both strength and vulnerability for this apex predator. The advantage lies in producing multiple cubs at once, which increases the chance that at least some will reach adulthood. The disadvantage is that more cubs create a greater burden of care, while the risk of mortality remains constant. During the first weeks, the lioness hides her cubs carefully and limits any exposure. This is a necessary protection strategy because the cubs are defenseless against predators such as hyenas, African wild dogs, or even outside male lions. This stage is the most critical challenge for the survival of the new generation. The strength of this hiding strategy is the reduced chance of detection. Its weakness is that the lioness must hunt alone without support from the pride. This situation limits the amount of food available for both the mother and her cubs. When the cubs are strong enough to move, the lioness brings them back to the pride. This moment marks an important turning point in the life cycle. Only within the pride do the cubs gain the advantage of collective protection. The pride provides a safer environment and allows the cubs to observe and learn survival skills. However, this reintegration carries risks. If a shift in dominance occurs within the pride, the cubs may become targets of infanticide. New dominant males eliminate the offspring of their predecessors to establish control and secure their own breeding opportunities. Cubs that survive the early years begin a phase of training. They observe and mimic adult behaviors, from silent movements to ambush techniques and the sharing of food after a hunt. This learning process builds the foundation for becoming effective hunters in adulthood. However, not all cubs reach this stage. Mortality rates among young lions are high, and only a fraction of individuals survive to reproductive age. The strength of the lion life cycle lies in the support of the pride system. Maternal care, Group protection and a defined social structure increase the survival rate of some individuals. However, the environment and the social structure itself present clear limitations. When food becomes scarce, weaker individuals are often left behind. When leadership changes occur, cubs can become casualties of territorial competition. In the Kenyan ecosystem, the birth and growth of lions reflect the severity and precision of nature. They produce multiple offspring, but only a few reach maturity. They are protected by the pride, but they can also be expelled or killed by the pride. The survival of lions depends not only on their strength, but also on their ability to balance protection and elimination. The life cycle follows a clear pattern: birth, the struggle to survive, growth into hunters, reproduction, and the continuation of the next generation. This cycle enables lions to maintain their position at the top of the food chain in the Kenyan savanna, and to play a critical role in maintaining the balance of the entire ecosystem. While the Kenyan savanna is defined by the presence of lions, hyenas, and migrating antelope herds, a different rhythm of life takes place along the rivers and lakes. In these waters, the African otter emerges as an important semi-aquatic mammal that represents adaptability within the ecosystem. With a streamlined body, dense brown water-resistant fur, and agile swimming ability, it uses rivers and lakes to access abundant food sources and reduce competition with terrestrial predators. The African otter's primary strength is its hunting skill underwater. Fast reflexes and a flexible body allow it to capture fish, crabs, frogs, and sometimes water snakes with high efficiency. This diverse diet provides stable nutrition, even when certain prey species decline. Another advantage lies in its ability to adjust hunting strategies according to environmental conditions. Allowing it to adapt to constant changes within its aquatic habitat. However, its small body size is a clear limitation. Despite its agility, the otter remains vulnerable to larger predators such as crocodiles, pythons, and fish eagles. These threats force the otter to maintain constant vigilance. A single individual rarely escapes an ambush. This vulnerability is the reason African otters often live in small family groups, where cooperation increases their chance of survival. In dangerous situations, coordinated group behavior often determines survival. When crocodiles ambush, groups of otters sometimes respond with collective counterattacks. They use speed and synchronized movements to harass the predator until it disengages. This behavior demonstrates an effective defensive strategy, where small size does not mean weakness as long as the group leverages its collective advantage. The ecological role of the African otter extends beyond hunting. By consuming fish and other aquatic species, it helps regulate populations in the water, maintaining balance within river and lake ecosystems. Its presence also reflects the quality of the environment. Otters require clean water and adequate fish populations to survive. A decline in their numbers often signals environmental degradation or water pollution. Despite these strengths, otters face significant challenges. They rely heavily on high-quality aquatic habitats, making them vulnerable when rivers shrink during the dry season or when water sources become polluted. Reproduction and the care of offspring also depend on stable, undisturbed conditions. When their habitat is disrupted, their ability to maintain population levels decreases rapidly. In Kenya, the African otter represents a balance between adaptability and vulnerability. It demonstrates exceptional hunting flexibility, but remains exposed to environmental shifts and the power of larger predators. Otters show that survival is not always determined by strength alone. It also depends on cooperation, the ability to use the environment efficiently, and maintaining an active role in ecological balance. Along the rivers, every sighting of an otter reveals another layer of Kenya's biodiversity. They are not as loud as the dramatic hunts of lions, nor as aggressive as hyenas competing over a carcass. Yet, they are an essential part of the ecosystem. Otters help maintain balance in aquatic environments and remind us that even small species play critical roles in the cycle of life and death in nature. In the Kenyan ecosystem, not only large species such as lions, antelopes, or crocodiles shape the balance of nature. Hidden within shrubs and low grasses, many smaller species also play critical roles in the cycle of life and death. Praying mantises, geckos, and African bullfrogs are three notable examples. They do not possess sharp claws or strong muscles. Instead, they survive through precise strategies: camouflage, speed, and patience. The praying mantis is a specialized ambush predator. Its slender body and raptorial forelegs allow it to capture prey in a rapid strike. Its greatest strength is its ability to blend perfectly with the environment. When small insects, juvenile frogs, or lizards enter its range, its lightning-fast strike determines the outcome. However, the mantis is highly dependent on concealment. Once detected by larger predators such as birds or reptiles, it has very little chance to escape. The gecko takes a different approach. It is a master of camouflage, capable of changing its skin color to match branches, bark, or even the soil. This ability allows it to avoid many predators and provides an advantage when ambushing small insects. However, its speed is limited. When its camouflage fails, the gecko struggles to evade faster predators. Its weak defensive ability forces it to rely on stillness and concealment to survive. The African bullfrog follows a very different strategy. It is one of the most voracious amphibians in Africa. With a wide mouth and powerful leap, it preys on insects, small reptiles, and even members of its own species. Its advantage is its ability to exploit almost every available food source. However, its large body and slow movements make it an easy target for snakes, predatory birds, and small carnivorous mammals. Its aggressive feeding behavior allows it to survive in harsh environments, but also exposes it to frequent predation risks. All three of these small species share one critical trait. The line between predator and prey is extremely thin. A mantis can hunt small insects but can also be swallowed by a bullfrog. A gecko can capture prey with the help of its camouflage, but a single lapse in attention can turn it into food for a raptor. Even the bullfrog, despite its powerful bite and broad diet, often falls prey to large snakes or opportunistic mammals. The presence of these species highlights the importance of smaller links in the ecosystem. They help control insect populations, maintain species diversity, and indirectly influence the stability of larger predators. Without them, insect populations could surge, damaging vegetation and triggering a chain reaction that disrupts the entire balance of the ecosystem. The praying mantis is one of the most specialized insect predators in the African ecosystem. Its small body contains biological adaptations that make it a highly efficient hunter. Its body length rarely exceeds a few inches, yet its unique structure allows it to maximize every advantage to survive in an environment full of threats. The first strength of the praying mantis lies in its front legs. Their folded, spine structure works like a pair of sharp clamps, allowing it to capture prey in an instant. With a single mistake from its target, the mantis locks on and ends the hunt quickly. Its large compound eyes can move independently, giving it a wide field of view and the ability to detect movement from multiple angles. Its ability to rotate its head nearly 180 degrees provides an additional advantage, allowing it to pinpoint prey precisely without moving its body. Another strength of the praying mantis is its camouflage. Many species resemble dry leaves, broken twigs, or even flowers, making them almost invisible to both predators and prey. This camouflage works as both a defensive mechanism and a hunting strategy. It allows the mantis to conserve energy by remaining still instead of chasing its prey. The diet of the praying mantis is highly diverse. It hunts small insects such as flies, mosquitoes, and bees, as well as grasshoppers, and in rare cases, even small birds or juvenile lizards. This dietary variety gives it a significant survival advantage, as it does not rely on a single food source. When one group of prey becomes scarce, it can switch to other available species to maintain its energy. However, this broad diet also carries a risk. When attacking prey that exceeds its control, the mantis risks injury or even becoming the prey itself. Its small body size makes it highly vulnerable to birds, frogs, and reptiles. Camouflage can reduce this risk. But once detected, its chances of survival are extremely low. During the breeding season, female mantises exhibit a unique reproductive strategy. They may consume the males during or after mating. This behavior provides an additional protein source, increasing the likelihood of producing strong, healthy eggs. This strategy strengthens the next generation, but reduces the number of males after each breeding season, which places pressure on the sex balance within the population. Each egg case, known as an ootheca, can contain hundreds of offspring. When they hatch, juvenile mantises are immediately capable of hunting, and they may even consume one another when food is limited. This is a highly efficient but harsh strategy that eliminates weaker individuals and allows only the strongest to survive. This process maintains high genetic quality within the population. However, the cost is high, and only a small percentage of juveniles reach maturity and reproduce. Praying mantises play an important role in the ecosystem. They help control insect populations and prevent outbreaks of species that can damage vegetation. However, because they also prey on pollinators such as bees, high mantis densities can indirectly affect plant reproduction. This reflects the delicate balance of nature, where every species carries both benefits and limitations for the ecosystem. The praying mantis demonstrates how a small organism can maximize its biological traits to survive. Its strengths lie in speed, camouflage, and efficient reproductive strategies. Its weaknesses are its vulnerability to larger predators and the heavy cost of maintaining population stability. Despite these challenges, these adaptations have allowed the praying mantis to survive for millions of years and continue to play an essential role in the complex ecosystem of Kenya. The gecko is a small reptile with unique biological traits that make it an effective predator in the African ecosystem. It does not rely on strength. It survives by using camouflage, agility, and precise hunting strategies. Its most significant advantage lies in its skin. Its rough surface can change color to match the surrounding environment. This ability allows the gecko to avoid detection by predators and to stalk prey without being seen. This is both a defensive and offensive strategy that enables the gecko to adapt to the dense forests and scattered shrubs of its habitat. The gecko's eyes provide another critical advantage. It does not have eyelids, but instead has a clear protective membrane that allows continuous, unobstructed vision. Each eye can rotate independently, giving the gecko an almost complete field of view. This ability allows it to track prey from multiple directions while remaining alert to potential threats without moving. Its adhesive feet are another key adaptation. Microscopic hair-like structures on its toes create powerful grip, allowing it to cling upside down to branches, climb vertical surfaces, and move across smooth areas with ease. This advantage helps the gecko attack prey from unexpected angles and escape predators that cannot climb steep or smooth surfaces. When hunting, the gecko uses its long, sticky tongue as its primary weapon. The tongue strikes with whip-like speed and captures prey in an instant. This precise and efficient hunting method conserves energy and reduces risk during an attack. The gecko's diet is highly diverse. It consumes crickets, cockroaches, mosquitoes, spiders, and occasionally even larger insects such as juvenile praying mantises. This flexibility in diet reduces its dependence on a single prey population. This adaptability is a significant advantage in harsh environments where food availability changes with the seasons. However, the gecko also has clear weaknesses. Its small body makes it vulnerable to predatory birds, snakes, and small carnivorous mammals. Even with effective camouflage and climbing ability, a single mistake can expose it to danger. Its solitary hunting behavior provides little support from others of its kind, unlike species that rely on group strategies. During the breeding season, male geckos compete aggressively for territory and mating access. This period demands high energy expenditure and often increases the risk of predation. Females lay 1 or 2 hard-shelled eggs during each cycle. After laying, the female does not return to provide care. The eggs incubate for 2 to 3 months, and the hatchlings must survive on their own from birth. This strategy reduces the mother's energy cost, but leaves the survival of the young dependent on environmental conditions. The gecko plays an important ecological role by controlling populations of small insects and preventing outbreaks. By feeding on mosquitoes and cockroaches, it helps limit species that can spread disease or damage resources. However, by preying on other small predators such as juvenile praying mantises, The gecko also demonstrates its place in a complex food web where every action influences the chain of survival. The gecko is clear evidence of the diversity of survival strategies in nature. Its strengths are camouflage, climbing ability, sharp vision, and precise hunting. Its weaknesses are its small body, high vulnerability to predators, and reliance on safe environments for egg development. This balance of strengths and weaknesses has allowed geckos to maintain their niche and contribute to the fragile balance of the Kenyan ecosystem. The African bullfrog is one of the most prominent swamp-dwelling animals, known for its large body and efficient hunting ability. Its body is heavy and muscular. Its wide mouth covers nearly half of its total length. An adult can weigh up to 1 pound. Although it has no sharp teeth or claws, its powerful jaws combined with a sticky tongue make it an effective predator. Its diet includes a wide range of species, from large insects and small fish to young birds, rodents, snakes, and even other bullfrogs. This ability makes the African bullfrog a versatile predator that helps control the populations of many species in the swamp while maintaining balance in freshwater ecosystems. Its strength is not limited to swallowing large prey. It is also highly adapted to seasonal changes. When the rains flood the swamps, the African bullfrog takes advantage of the wet conditions to breed in large numbers. Males produce loud calls that attract females and defend territories against rival males. This period demands high energy, but determines the survival of the next generation. Each female can lay thousands of eggs, which hatch into tadpoles that develop into juvenile frogs. This reproductive process plays a critical role in the food web, by providing an important food source for many predators. However, the African bullfrog also has notable limitations. Its large body size makes it slower than many other predators and more visible in open areas. Its powerful bite compensates for its lack of speed, but it relies on dense swamp habitats for cover to avoid threats from larger predators such as water snakes or crocodiles. Its broad diet also leads to competition with other species sharing the same environment. Including larger fish and insect-eating birds, which creates intense competition for food resources. The African bullfrog also serves as a key intermediate link in the ecosystem. When hunting, it helps control populations of insects and small animals, preventing uncontrolled population growth. At the same time, it is a valuable food source for larger species such as raptors, snakes, and crocodiles, ensuring that energy flows continuously through the food chain. Through this role, the bullfrog contributes to the balance of plant and animal life in the swamp and supports the stability of the ecosystem. The breeding season is both a vulnerable and critical stage for the species. The loud calls, territorial conflicts, and large number of eggs ensure the population persists despite challenging conditions. The tadpoles face constant threats from fish, birds, and other small predators. Only a small percentage survive to become juvenile frogs. This process reflects a harsh but efficient cycle that filters for the strongest and best adapted individuals. The African bullfrog is both a fierce predator and an important prey species, illustrating the balance of the swamp ecosystem. Its strengths include powerful jaws, a wide mouth, and a highly varied diet. Its weaknesses include limited speed and high visibility in open areas. This balance of strengths and limitations has allowed the African bullfrog not only to survive, but also to become an essential link that supports the flow of energy and life within the swamp ecosystem. The ecosystem of Kenya is defined by constant interaction between species. From apex predators such as lions to baboons, otters, and smaller species such as mantises, geckos, and bullfrogs, every organism plays a part. Each species has unique strengths that help it hunt or defend itself, but also weaknesses that force it to adapt. This network creates a natural balance, where predators regulate prey populations, and smaller species provide energy to higher levels while supporting regeneration and food availability across the system. Viewed as a whole, the Kenyan ecosystem is a complex survival chain. Strength, strategy, cooperation, and adaptability determine the survival of every species. No species exists in isolation. The survival of each individual depends on hunting efficiency, group protection, rapid response to threats, and effective use of its habitat. The food chain and the connections among species highlight the importance of the entire ecosystem, where every link, large or small, is essential to sustaining the rhythm of life in the wild. The ecosystem of Kenya functions as a continuous cycle where every organism participates in the harsh dynamics of survival. Baboons balance the need to find food with the need to avoid predators. Lions, though powerful, depend on teamwork and strategy to hunt successfully. Otters rely on speed and group coordination to withstand threats from larger predators such as crocodiles. Preying mantises, geckos, and bullfrogs depend on camouflage, rapid reflexes, and versatile feeding strategies to survive. Every species has strengths that help it endure, but every species also has limitations that force it to adapt. No predator or prey remains dominant forever. A hunter today can become prey tomorrow. Life and death cycle endlessly, maintaining the biological balance that drives the entire system. Kenya continues its rhythm without pause as species coexist, compete, and adapt. The food chain and the interdependence of every organism create an endless cycle where strength, strategy, and adaptability decide survival. This is the unbroken reality of the wild, where death sustains life, and life keeps the eternal cycle in motion.